Now, the rising price of rent is rarely out of the news, and this is the case not just in the UK, of course, but around the world. In Japan, IKEA is attempting to find a solution. The Swedish furniture company is renting out a flat in Tokyo for less than £1 a month. The catch? Well, it's less than 10 square metres in size. So could you live in a tiny home if it costs no more than a chocolate bar? Housing expert Henry Pryor is joining us now on PM. And I suppose put that question to you, Henry, could you?
Carolyn, I think it depends where you are and but in your life cycle and what your responsibilities and obligations are. I mean, we do need solutions, innovative solutions indeed, to the housing crisis. In a month's time, on Christmas morning, 100,000 kids will wake up in the equivalent of bed and breakfast style accommodation. We've got 1.8 million people, families on social housing waiting lists. We need more homes, and the government and politicians, local and national, are trying hard to come up with different solutions. But there are three reasons probably why this isn't the obvious solution. The first is that in the UK we have a minimum standard of 37 square metres if you're building a new build property. So at 10 square metres this isn't quite going to cut it. Secondly, of course, after COVID there is not such an appetite for flats, particularly flats without a window box, let alone a garden or outside terrace, and therefore these aren't actually as popular post-COVID as they might have been 4 or 5 years ago. And finally, of course, I think it's worth remembering that there are 500,000 homes, flats that are unsaleable, that are not popular because they are suffering from the cladding crisis. The buildings that they are in are semi-condemned, and therefore people are struggling to be able to sell them at all.
Yeah, so those are serious problems. It sounds to me as if you're regarding this as just a little bit of a gimmick.
Well, inevitably one needs to check the date and make sure it's not April the 1st, but Japan has micro hotels. They are much more comfortable culturally living in smaller spaces. I don't think that Brits are going to embrace these, despite the pressures we have both on rental properties and on homes for sale. And indeed, if you wanted one, there is one on one of the big property websites for sale now at just under 10 square metres. It's in Notting Hill in leafy, popular central London.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The location, yeah, the location is what is attractive about it for some people, rather than the size of it, I guess.
But it has also the problem that you can't rent it out, you can't live there for 365 days a year, and you can't get a mortgage on it. So other than that, it's a great idea. But these are imaginative ideas. We've looked at shipping containers, for example, coming up with ideas for both temporary and semi-permanent houses. And we do need these kind of solutions on a small island where inevitably building new homes, both for rent and to buy, is something that's problematical and will remain so into the new year.
Henry Pryor, thank you.